All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's oath of office ceremony and induction of our new alderman and mayor for the town of Farragut. I'm David Smoke, town administrator for the town of Farragut. On Thursday, August 4th, the town of Farragut did hold a municipal election for the positions of mayor, Ward 1 alderman, which is our north ward, and Ward 2 alderman, which is our south ward. And then on August the 18th, 2022, the Knox County Election Commission certified the election results for all three elected offices, and we are here tonight to have those offices sworn in. These are each of these positions are for a term of 4 years. To administer the oath of office this evening is Town of Farragut Judge, the Honorable Keith Alley.
Good evening.
Thank you, Your Honor. And our first elected representative to take the oath of office this evening will be David White for the position of Ward 2 Alderman.
You said if you will stand there, I will stand here. If you will raise your right hand, put your left hand on the Bible. If you can get over there, that would probably be best. Thank you. All right, thank you, sir. If you'll repeat after me. I, David White,
I, David White,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
of the office of Alderman
of the office of Alderman
as prescribed by the Charter
as prescribed by the Charter
of the Town of Farragut,
of the Town of Farragut.
and that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the United States,
and obey the laws of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution and will obey the laws of the state of Tennessee,
I will support the Constitution and obey the laws of the state of Tennessee.
that I will in all respects
And I will in all respects
observe the provisions of the Charter
observe the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of the Town of Farragut,
and ordinances of the Town of Farragut.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Alderman.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of Alderman.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, our next representative to take the oath of office this evening is Ward 1 Alderman Scott Meyer.
Okay. All right, if you will raise your right hand and put your left hand on the Bible. I, Scott Joseph Meyer,
I, Scott Joseph Meyer,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
of the office of Alderman
of the office of Alderman
as prescribed by the Charter of the Town of Farragut,
as prescribed by the Charter of the Town of Farragut,
and that I will support the Constitution
and that I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the United
and
States,
will obey the laws of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution
and that I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the state of Tennessee,
and obey the laws of the state of Tennessee,
that I will in all respects
and I will in all respects
observe the provisions of the Charter
observe the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of the Town of Farragut,
and ordinances of the Town of Farragut,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Alderman.
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of Alderman.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Sure. Oh.
All right, 3, 2, 1, just like that. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
All right, and our final representative this evening to take the oath of office for the position of mayor of the town of Farragut is Ron Williams.
Please raise your right hand, left hand on the Bible, and repeat after me. I, Ron Williams,
I, Ron Williams,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
of the office of mayor as prescribed by the Charter of the Town of Farragut,
of the office of the mayor as prescribed by the Town of Farragut.
and that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the United States,
and obey the laws of the United States.
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and will obey the laws of the state of Tennessee,
and obey the laws of the state of Tennessee.
that I will in all respects
And I will, in all
respects,
observe the provisions of the Charter
observe the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of the town of Farragut,
and ordinances of the town of Farragut.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of mayor.
I will faithfully discharge the duties of mayor.
Congratulations. Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it.
All right. 3, 2, 1, hold just like that. 3, 2, 1.
All right, that will conclude the oath of office ceremony this evening. I thank everyone for being here for it. If I could get all of our newly elected officials all together, we're going to take a group shot and then a couple of group shots and then get that over, and then we'll start the beer board meeting at 5:50 this evening. Thank you. Appreciate all your help as usual, Judge.
Mine's? Yeah, I
Yes,
guess it
it's
is.
on. Last meeting. They weren't very loud last meeting, at the planning commission
That's
meeting.
easy. Just turn up the volume.
No, it's really kind of hard to hear.
I'll make sure you're not hard to hear.
There, that's where it's loud.
Yeah.
Is in the back, yeah.
Okay, well,
Oh, my God.
that's all that matters.
I kind of, because I have you turned down right here.
It was halfway that was the problem.
May as well get started.
Okay. Okay, good evening. Tonight's beer board is now in session for August 25th, 2022. We're going to start off with election of officers, and I'll need a motion for a chairman.
I'm going to move for Drew Burnett for chairman.
Second.
Second, Mr. Burnett, do you accept the nomination?
I know, I'm just, we can talk about it. You want to talk about it? We've got a second.
I didn't even take a breath yet.
Oh, sorry.
Chairman for what?
Chairman for beer board.
Oh, bless
I think it'd be a good experience for you to run a meeting. I think that this is
Okay.
a simple, we don't have it all the time.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
And
I'll accept.
There you go.
Okay, with the exception of
I
the
don't even have to
nomination.
twist your arm.
That's a great thing.
And no other nominations on the floor, then we'll ask for a yes vote. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, next will be vice chairman.
I'm nominate Scott Meyer for vice chairman.
I'll second.
I saw that coming.
Accept the nomination?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Then we will vote on that as well. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, next will be secretary, and I'll nominate Louise Poplin for that.
Second.
And do you accept the nomination?
Yes.
Yes, okay, great. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, we are seated, so we're going to start off with the chairman can go with the approval of minutes.
You were absent for these, so
I was about to say, I didn't think I was.
you can make just call the minutes and ask for a vote, and then you can recuse yourself.
Calling for the approval of minutes from the August 11th, 2022 Beer Board meeting.
Second.
No changes. I'm going to abstain from the vote since I wasn't there, but all in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. And from there, I've not gotten any direction.
Beer permit?
Now we're moving on to beer permits.
All right, moving on to the first beer permit. This is for approval of a special occasion beer permit for the St. John Newman Harvesting for Him event, Sunday, October 2nd, 2022.
Yes, sir. This event is similar to the one they had last year. And the motion is to approve the special occasion beer permit for the St. John Newman Harvesting for Him event, October 2nd of 2022.
Move to approve.
Yeah, if you'd step up to the microphone, that'd be great. Tell us a little bit about the event, the plans.
Yeah, thank you. This is our annual fall festival for our school and church community. So Sunday afternoon, about 1 to 5. We'll have a few hundred folks that come and go throughout the afternoon. Inflatables and food trucks and kickball games, that kind of stuff. So just kind of your classic thing. We have the state wine permit, so we have all that. We're fully insured, and we have licensed bartenders, single barrel events that, so all that's taken care of the appropriate way.
Fantastic. And I know you've done events before in the town, but you have all the paperwork needed from Allison.
They do. It's all in
Great.
order.
That sounds great. Thank you. I
All
hope
right.
the event's a success. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Got to take a vote.
All right, so now we'll move to a vote to approve this beer permit for St. John Newman Harvesting for Him. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. It's been approved.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move for an approval of Class 6 permit for Oktoberfest, PJ Parkinson support. Do we have a representative here?
Yes, and this one, all the paperwork is in order as well. And the Mind Your P's and Q's is hosting the event, and it will be benefiting the PJ Parkinson Support Organization. And the motion is to approve the special occasion beer permit for the Oktoberfest, September 30th through October 2nd, 2022.
Move to approve.
Second.
Great. If you'd step up, state your name and address, and tell us a little
I'm
about the
Isabel
event.
Senf-Daniel. I'm the Executive Director of PJ Parkinson's, and it's the first time that we have this event together with Simon. So he did it in the past, and this year he was gracious enough to choose us as the organization that get the proceeds.
Fantastic. Anything to add?
Well, it'll be at the Renaissance Center, and we did it last year, and it was a great turnout, and we'll hope to have the same thing, other than the rain, of course.
Sure.
But last
So are
year,
you planning
Sunday.
it in that field in front there?
Yes.
Okay.
Myers Brothers has allowed us to utilize the surface. The greens in the front. We'll be putting up a big 120-feet tent, and so we'll have entertainment and child's playground.
Kids area.
So we'll have a good turnout, hopefully, and we look forward to having it again.
How many people you're hoping to attract?
Last year, we attracted about 2,500 people
Oh, wow.
in 2 days, and we're hoping to surpass that this year. We'll have billboards and newspaper ads, and Farragut Press has graciously given us a space in their newspaper. We'll have a couple of billboards. Social media will be all over, as usual, Facebook, Instagram, and some of the whatever social media that is allowing us to put, and there will be some radio ads also. So
And TV.
and TV ads. So hopefully that'll encourage more people to attend. Next door that we have within our community here, I've already started posting it there, saying that there will be one after, of course, we got our permits. But we still got a lot of response to that already. Hopefully it'll be a great event.
Okay, great.
Great. So being the second time you've done it, I'm assuming we've got all the paperwork and everything in order, so wish you all success with your event.
Thank you. We hope to see you there too. You're all welcome.
Yeah, I have to do 1,800 schnitzel, so I'm a real German, so I hope you all come and enjoy the schnitzel.
Good luck with that. All right, so now we'll vote for approval of a Class 6 permit for Oktoberfest. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. It's been approved.
One last thing, Alderman Burnett, if you'll please. John Schoonmaker, our county commissioner, is here, and he wanted to make a brief statement about something that, the issue that they just recently had to deal with that we should just be aware of. Thank you, Commissioner Schoonmaker, for being here.
Thank you. John Schoonmaker, Knox County Commission. Congratulations on your new alderman here and the reappointment of the rest of the gang. The Knox County Beer Board met on Monday of this week, and we took action on a convenience store that had 3 offenses of selling beer to a minor. And so I just kind of wanted to bring you, just to kind of lay out exactly what happened. A convenience store, fairly well known, got their beer permit on March 31st of 2021. Within 16 days, they had their first violation of selling beer to a minor. They went for a whole year and 1 month, had their second violation of selling beer to a minor in Knox County. And then 2 months after that, they had their third violation of selling beer to a minor in Knox County. So the Knox County Beer Board took action to revoke their beer license for 90 days. We take this matter very, very seriously, and as you all know, it is not a right to sell beer in Knox County. It is a privilege. So, and I know you guys are looking down the road to getting together to do a kind of a workshop on to combine to make sure that the beer laws and the violations match up. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention because the managers of the convenience store were fairly stunned. But again, we
Maybe
take
that
that
happens.
matter very seriously. So thank you for the time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, County Commissioner. David, just really quick, because we have talked about possibly aligning our ordinance with Knox County's ordinance. Is that something we would do through the beer board, or is that something we do at it's an ordinance, so it would have to go through the...
Board of
through
Mayor and
a-
Aldermen.
Okay.
That's correct. And I would just ask the commissioner, do you actually have in your regulations timeframes of what a certain offense is before and what their violation would be? Just real quick. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I just didn't know. Yes, we do have it spelled out that we have the option that the first offense is a $1,000 fine or 30-day revocation, and we give the choice to the affected party. Then the second one is $1,500 or 60 days. Third one is $2,000 or 90 days, but we do not have to offer them that fine. We can simply go ahead and do a 90-day revocation.
Thank you. Yeah, we several years ago, the town of Farragut, the city of Knoxville, and Knox County all worked together on getting our beer ordinances more aligned. I think the county and the town are much more aligned in the way our beer ordinances work. Obviously, that's kind of a newer update, I think, that the county has worked on in the last couple of years. So that's something that we can certainly talk about, the pros and cons to doing those kinds of things, and whether you want the flexibility or not in your ordinance. So thank you for that, Commissioner, and we'll certainly can get that back to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen soon.
And we've also now, on our commission webpage, we do list the businesses that have gone and been checked, and we tell them, hey, these people they were approved. They didn't sell beer to a minor, and then we do list the violators, so it's all public record there,
And they
too.
do you list Town of Farragut's violators on there as well. Knox County, if it happened in the Town of Farragut, it's still listed on their page as a violation.
Believe it, we get a copy of all those, and so if anybody that gets tested in the town passes, then Ms. Myers sends them a nice letter saying, yeah, congratulations, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's good
And
to
then
know.
hopefully we don't have to see you back at the beer board.
Yes.
And the state has really tried to make it idiot-proof for the clerks of these different establishments, in that everybody in this room, if you look at your driver's license, it's like this. If you're under 21, your driver's license is this way, and there's a big red bar right across. So if you ask for somebody for their driver's license and they hold it up and it's a vertical, you know right away they're not 21 years old, so why would you even want to sell beer to them? So it's amazing sometimes.
Thank you, Commissioner Schoonmaker. Appreciate you being here. That's all I had.
Okay, beer board's adjourned.
Okay, thank you. Chairman, we appreciate your indulgence there. Okay, next time is approximately 6:03 p.m. and the August 25th, 2022 Farragut Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting will now come to order. All Farragut Board of Mayor and Alderman meetings are public notice per Tennessee state law. Our meetings can be seen live on Charter Channel 193 and TDS Channel 3, as well as on Farragut YouTube channel and our website. It will also be recorded and can be viewed at a later date on the Town of Farragut YouTube channel, as well as Charter Channel 193 and TDS Channel 3. Concerning the regular posted agenda, if you are interested in speaking, we ask that you fill out a blue card with your name and address and agenda number and turn it into the town recorder prior to the start of the meeting. The mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, shall maintain the control of the meeting to provide a professional and objective environment. So please read the posted comment protocol and understand that there will be a 5-minute limit for each speaker, and please stay on topic. At the end of tonight's business meeting, there will be some time reserved for other public comment under the citizens' comment agenda. Okay, we'll start tonight with a prayer by our alderman. It'll be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to our country's flag.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this night, this opportunity to welcome new volunteers to the board that have been elected. We thank you for their hearts of service. We pray that as a board that we can look not only to our own interests, but to the interests of our town, to the interests of others. We want to be a people that do unto others as we would do unto them, and I pray that we could lead in a way that would highlight service and love and support for the great community you've blessed us with. We thank you for our community. We thank you for the opportunity to meet together and discuss business items, and we ask all these things in your name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, I'll now ask the town recorder to please take a attendance roll call for a quorum.
Alderman Burnett.
Here.
Alderman Meyer.
Here.
Alderman Povlin.
Here.
Alderman White.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams here. Thank you, Allison. Approval of agenda. Do we have any agenda amendments?
No, sir.
With none, I'll ask for a motion, please.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second with no amendments. All in favor of approval, say yes.
Yes.
And any noes? Let the record show the August 25th, 2022 agenda has been approved as listed. Next will be approval of minutes. Any amendments to the minutes?
No, sir.
None, then I'll ask for a motion.
Second.
Okay, with a motion and a second on the floor, all in favor, say so by saying yes.
Yes.
Let the record show the July 28th, 2022 minutes have been approved, 5-0, and will be recorded as official or amended minutes of that meeting. Mayor's report, I have one thing, and that's, I want to start this out by congratulating Chris Davis and his staff at the Knox County Election Commission for a very clean and efficient election. It's a job well done. Okay, I'll turn it over to the Vice Mayor for her report.
I just have one, and Julie Blaylock is here from the Farragut West Knox Chamber to give us her monthly update.
Good evening, Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Julie Blaylock, Farragut West Knox Chamber of Commerce, office at 11826 Kingston Pike, Suite 110 in Farragut. I haven't been here in a minute, so I wanted to just give you an update of some things that have been going on, and also welcome and congratulations to our new Alderman White. It's a pleasure to meet you. We have had a lot going on at the Chamber. I do want to thank the town of Farragut for your presence and participation and all your hard work in the Topgolf Farragut ribbon cutting that we got to celebrate this past month. It was truly epic and the record-setting event that the operations manager wanted it to be. So thank you for that. I think you made it very, very special for him, and people are enjoying it. We closed out our fiscal year as of June 30th, 2022. We had 108 new members join the chamber for that fiscal year. 29 of them are in Farragut. From the month of July, which is our brand new fiscal year, we had 12 new members, 3 are in Farragut, and those are listed below. A good variety of industries. A couple of new opportunities and just FYIs for you all. I was very honored to be nominated to our Tennessee State Chamber of Commerce Executives Board for the 2022-23 fiscal year as the at-large member representing East Tennessee. So that was done just this past week, and I'm excited to serve. Should be a lot of fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. The auction, our charity gala and dinner affair, which is our signature fundraiser event that all the members and businesses look forward to, is coming up on September 29th. I want to remind you that Town of Farragut, we hope and expect to see you there. You are an event sponsor. 20% of proceeds for items and tickets is going to benefit our remote area medical, specifically the Knox County Clinic that is occurring here in January of 2023, which provides very important free medical care to residents of all across the area. And in fact, you know that we have people coming from around the region that camp out waiting for that medical care. A lot of it is our most vulnerable populations, our elderly, our underinsured, people with children, and people that have basically fallen through the cracks of Medicare and Medicaid. So please come and support that. It's going to be a fantastic event. And then below, I've just got a couple of our social media stats. So as you know, we were blessed to hire a social media communications and digital coordinator, Caitlin Smith, back on March 1st. And so that has been her full-time position. And so she's been pulling some stats just to see how our social media has been tracking in terms of our engagement. And as you can see, we are up across the board from the last fiscal year. Her efforts are being noticed, and having her is a real help. And then on the right, just a couple of events that are coming up that I would hope to see you all at. The ones that are in Farragut proper are in blue. But some of them are just outside, and you're certainly welcome to those because businesses from across the area attend, and they want to work with Farragut businesses, either as vendors, customers, and they may have aspirations of relocating at some point in time. So it's certainly good to build those relationships. One that I do want to point out to you is there's a triple networking on September the 15th at 8 a.m. It is at Movement Mortgage on Lovell Road, which is across the street from Costco, so it's not quite in Farragut. But it is Movement Mortgage, Junk Galaxy, and Second Harvest Food Bank. So Second Harvest, who's a member, was expecting a shipment of microwavable macaroni and cheese. And for those that don't know, part of what Second Harvest does is they help fill backpacks for children and students across the area, including students in Farragut, who have food shortcomings at home. And so having those instant ready-to-eat meals for kids and for them to take them home on the weekends is really important. They usually send home enough for their siblings also. Well, that shipment to Second Harvest is not coming until January. So there's a big hole they've now got to fill. And so we're going to do that networking. We're asking people to bring donations of microwavable mac and cheese. You can get it right here at the Farragut Aldi's. It's very inexpensive. So. And with that, I'd be happy to take any questions.
I don't have any, but congratulations on your serving on the board. I know that's extra work, but it's also something that you get to make more relationships, and that always helps Farragut. So
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank
Absolutely.
you, Julie.
Thank you.
Julie. Okay, anything from any of the other aldermen to report? If not, we'll move on to our posted agenda items. We have no ordinances tonight, but we do have a full plate of business agenda items with 10 items to review and consider. And we'll start out with the board election of the vice mayor for the next 4 years. The floor is open for nominations.
I would like to nominate the most senior alderman from Ward 1, Louise Pavlin, as our vice mayor.
I'll second that. Okay, I have a nomination and a second for Louise Pavlin. Do we have any other nominations? With none, I will ask for a roll call vote by the town recorder.
Alderman Burnett.
Yes.
Alderman Meyer.
Yes.
Alderman Pavlin.
Yes.
Alderman White.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Mayor Williams, yes. Let the record show that Alderman Louise Pavlin has been elected to serve as vice mayor for the next 4 years with a 5 to 0. Excuse me.
I'm done in 2. Just letting you know.
Quick on that.
Notice that. 5 to 0 vote. Okay, next will be the agreement with the Floyd Foundation Dog Park Dash Grant Program.
Sue Stool, Director of Parks and Recreation. In the spring of this year, the Town of Farragut Park and Rec staff applied for a Dog Park Dash grant and then prepared a huge social media campaign this summer to support the applications. And due to their efforts, and a bunch of them are back in the back, the town was fortunate enough to receive one of the 15 grants given in this final year of the program. Our grant amount is $25,000. If this is approved tonight, the check presentation will be held on September 8th at 5 p.m. out at McPhee Park at the future dog park location. A little bit about the agreement. The rules for this grant state that the dog park must be completed by August of 2025. It is planned for the northwest corner of McPhee Park, behind what was the Dimmick House, which is now gone. And there's an area that we laid out and it's up there on the screen that's about 1.5 acres. This does not mean that this is what it's going to look like. This is just a representation of what 1.5 or approximately looks like at this time. We'll have to employ a designer at some point to make sure that we get everything right. It will have to have an ADA accessible entrance. The hope is to have 2 paddocks, one for small dogs, one for large dogs. The next phase of McPhee Park is the parking that you can see around it right now. That's the actual layout for the future parking. So parking will be available very close. The approximate budget for this project is between $140,000 and $400,000 in today's dollars. That includes, the lower range includes very basic fencing and some drainage issues, the 2 paddocks, an entryway, which again has to be ADA compliant, and benches and waste cans. The upper range would include maybe nicer fencing, like coated fencing, taller fencing, and maybe a restroom and possibly a pavilion. So, any questions? I'd be glad to answer.
Oh, Sue, thank you. This is a good start to kick this off, to get a grant. We've been trying for a grant for a while, so it's a good start.
Move to approve the agreement between the Town of Farragut and the Boyd Foundation Dog Park Dash Grant Program.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any resident comments?
No, sir.
None? Okay, discussion. We'll start out with Alderman White. None?
No discussion.
No discussion from you? Okay, thank you. Next will be Alderman Burnett.
Just add great work, Sue and your team in the back. I know a lot of work went into applying for this grant and being heard in the process on social media, and the dog pictures and everything that happened out there. That was a lot of fun, and congratulations. It's going to serve the town well.
Thank you. They worked really hard on that. Thank you.
Alderman Meyer.
Pass.
Vice Mayor.
David, just a real quick question. Backing into the time frame that this needs to be finished by 2025, what's our time frame for the latest? We have to have design done and construction in our CIP.
Well, we already have this project in our CIP for the next 2 years, so this
Okay.
should be done in plenty of time, or at least the expenditures completed but in plenty of time for this.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay, I don't have any questions, but with sufficient discussion of the request, I'll ask that all in favor of approval vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Okay, let the record show that the request agreement has been approved, 5-1. Thank you, Sue. Next will be approval of change to McPhee Park court rental regulations and hours.
All right. McPhee Park, the Phase 3 now has 4 lighted tennis courts that can be converted to 8 pickleball courts and a full-size basketball court. The installation of the basketball court lighting actually finished yesterday, so we are a little bit ahead of the schedule. The Parks and Athletics Council voted unanimously to recommend the following changes to the rental regulations, hour of use, and fee schedule for the McPhee Park courts. Currently, the courts are available to reserve, and this is the tennis and pickleball courts, during the field allocation process. So twice a year, we have fields and courts that go through quite a process to be divided among many, many groups. I think 30 some in the last year or so. Tennis was added to that list, the last 2 field allocations, and we had a discussion about this at the meeting, and the Parks and Athletics Council would like to keep or say that the courts could be available to reserve during this process in January and June by schools located in the town of Farragut only and no later than 6:30 p.m. each day. Right now, we have some rentals that go to 6 or 6:30 from a school. So this would limit any other group coming in and getting courts during the field allocation process. You want to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as it came to our attention, I mean, we do the field allocation process for rectangular fields as well as the baseball fields, and it just kind of came to our attention that, you know, some groups could come in during field allocation and reserve all the tennis courts before anybody in the community had an opportunity to use them on any night. And if we don't change this, we could have any large number of groups out there with large tennis organizations that take all of our courts, and they could be from outside of our community, and no one in our community could use them. So we looked and said, you know, we do want to serve Farragut first, especially during field allocation process, and by Farragut we meant even schools located inside of the town of Farragut, not just Farragut High, Middle. And so we thought that would be a fair compromise to serve our community, to allow the schools the use from 4 p.m. after school till 6 or 6:30, and then remove the remaining hours from the field allocation process, protecting our courts and our park for the citizens.
Okay, good presentation there, Drew.
Do you want me to go on to the next part so that they all sort of go together? Yeah. Okay. Rental regulations. Currently, the courts must be reserved at least 12 hours in advance in order to be on the schedule and have the lights. Courts are always available for drop-in use at no charge if there's not a reservation, much like our shelters. There are QR codes at the entrances of the courts. They can scan it and see, anyone can scan it and see if there's a reservation or not. The proposed change is that the courts, we would back that up a little bit and allow the rental to go up to 3:30 p.m. the day of the rental, and that would give staff time to go ahead and put that on the schedule for the must-go lights that night. This allows the community a little more flexibility in deciding, you know, that day if they want to have a rental or not. And the computerized light schedule, we would manually enter into each field and court in our rec desk reservation system, which is what we do now. So any questions about that?
So are lights scheduled for coming on and going off at McPhee Park, or can they be done at the community center? How's that work?
We can do it on our phones.
Oh, okay.
We can do it. It's computerized, so
Okay.
we have 2 full-time staff people who take care of that when they come into work and come back to meet the part-time people. That is one of their duties at 3:30-ish, is to look at the schedule for that night, see where the registrations are, and then go from there and make sure that lights are all set for those hours.
Okay.
The hours are current hours for tennis and pickleball in the basketball court are 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. with reservations. We say they close down at 9 p.m. If rented. So this allows the last game from 8:30 to sort of finish up and get off the courts. The 8:30 a.m. start time is for staff to do the necessary maintenance in the morning, like blow off leaves or whatever else we need to do after they arrive in the morning. That's Public Works during the week and Parks and Recreation on the weekends. The majority of the time, the courts are opened earlier. If there's no maintenance or very little, then many times that they're open between 7:30 and 8. And if maintenance is not required, then it can just start. The proposed change from the Parks and Athletics Council is the rental hours be from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. with a 9:45 lights out. So that gives that last rental a 50-minute time period to get off the courts. All right, and then the last one is about the fees. So currently, the approved fees are $10 per hour, or per 1.5 hour block for tennis, and $5 per 1.5 hour block for pickleball, with a limit of 2 times per week per person. Basketball has been drop-in use only due to the lack of lights. Again, if the courts are not rented, they are free to be used by anyone dropping in. The proposed change from the committee is a fee of $10 per hour for tennis, $5 per hour for pickleball, and $10 per hour for basketball court, with a rental limit of 4 times a week. So it would go from an hour and a half block to an hour block, which is much easier for us to schedule on the half hour, and if we're going to extend the time. And the court lights would not come on unless there was a reservation. So they're just not going to be on every night just because. There's cost to it, there's staff cost to it, and there's also, lighting that's not necessary, so.
Can we pay the bill at $10 an hour?
The lighting bill? Yeah. The lights, those lights are LED, and, that whether we pay any bill is a whole nother question if you do the soft costs. So that's in line with what's going on in the city of Knoxville. They have an hour and a half blocks, and they have a $5 fee no matter when you play. So if you go into the tennis centers, so.
Okay. I think I see an issue from residents that say people get started before the start time. Are the courts locked?
They are locked, and they get unlocked during the week by Public Works, and again, that's usually between 7:30 and 8. If there needs to be maintenance done, they do that during the week. We do it on the weekends. Same time period, where ours is probably more closer to 8 because we have a lot of restrooms and one person to open. So they may get started at 8 o'clock.
Okay. That was a request by the residents that are living there close by.
Yeah, they get locked and unlocked.
I'm a little uncomfortable with the 9:30 timeframe. I understand that you're trying to go into hour blocks, but I'd like to hear some feedback from the residents. And I understand what the goal is there because it's hour chunks. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting. I was looking for, you had mentioned a couple of weeks ago, a resolution we have for Anchor Park, and that it'd be a no-light park, and in that resolution, it says it cuts off play at 9 p.m. I'm thinking we should probably strive to be consistent with that. Perhaps, I don't know.
Just for reference, yeah, we do get complaints from the one neighborhood specifically about the lights. But for reference, we shut play off at 10 p.m. at all the lighted part at Mayor Bob and McPhee, the other fields at McPhee. That said, we did an analysis, and in the last year, we had less than 10% of the total rentals that were after 9 p.m. Some of them were 9:30 and some were 9:45. It's not real often that we get after 9 p.m. rental. Okay. So, and those lights would go off.
And I'll also add, while you're reading her note, Vice Mayor, that I also think it would make sense to adjust seasonally. Just speaking, personally, right now, 9 o'clock doesn't seem too late because the sun's out. Yeah. When the time change happens, when it's cooler outside and it starts getting dark at 6:30, 9's a lot later at my house than it is. It's 3 hours of darkness. And so I do think it makes sense to adjust that seasonally as we move on. But right now, the thought was 9 o'clock, we still have some light, not enough to play something out
Yeah,
there. But
yeah.
people generally stay up a little later in the summer. But then as we move into the fall and winter, to back those hours down for lights.
I think that's sounds like a fair compromise that we need to really consider that. I appreciate what you're saying.
So you're talking, okay, so what would that look like?
When's the time change?
You would do it with the time change?
It's only happening one more time anyway.
Hmm?
Doesn't it go away? Isn't
Is
it?
it, are
Yeah.
time change going away? Well,
Like
it's
this
more,
next year's it.
to me, it's more a winter season kind
Agree.
of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe we could take that offline and look. I mean, if
And
we're,
yeah, I don't think that's I'm not sure that we made that decision tonight. Did we have public input for this?
Yes, we have 2 speakers.
Do you want to hear from them?
Yes.
Our first speaker is Gordon Cassidy. Oh, sorry. Ron Pinchuk wants to go first.
Well, I guess.
Good evening. Brian Pinchuk, 12618 Red Canyon Road, Farragut, Tennessee. I'm here supporting our Farragut High School tennis coach, Gordon Cassidy. What's in question here is the rental regulation paragraph. The section that says proposed change, courts would be available to reserve during the field court allocation process in January and June by schools located in the town of Farragut only, and no later than 6:30 p.m. each day. The concern is that the boys and girls tennis teams each play 9 sets. There's 6 singles and 3 doubles for the boys, and same for the girls. That's 18 sets. And a set can last easily 45 minutes, maybe longer. They can't play a match in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Now, what they do is the tennis season lasts from March, April, and May. March and April are practice months. So 4 to 6:30 is no problem. The kids get off school, they go right out there, they practice for 2 hours, and it works fine. In May is when they play their matches, and they've got to play probably 5 home matches. This past year, they played district and won by playing Bearden at McPhee Park. So they ended up playing 6 matches. Again, to play 18 sets, they can't do it in 2.5 hours. They can do it in probably 4.5 hours. So 4 to 8 o'clock would work. Now, all we're asking is that the Farragut High School teams be able to play in May 6, maybe 7 times, 6 or 7 days to get these matches in for the whole year. So we're not talking about, every month or, whatever. This is narrowing it down to just their matches. So if you all approve this, they won't be able to play their matches at Farragut, at McPhee Park. And that's our concern. Coach,
Ron, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So we have another high school in Farragut, Concord Christian.
Right.
That I've heard from them multiple times about the tennis courts, and we're kind of going down a slippery slope that I was afraid we were going to go down, which is basically we are using town of Farragut assets for schools that are ran by the county. And so, but with that being said, we're here and we've done it. And so now we have to live with it. So what would your proposal be to Concord Christian if they have to do the same, play the same number of sets? If they play 18 sets, do we give the courts 6 or 7 times a day, or 6 or 7 days in May to Farragut High School, and then do we give another 6 or 7 days to Concord Christian? And then what happens to St. John Newman, which also is a very important school here in Farragut, and they want to use the courts, and then we've got Knoxville Christian School also. So how are we going to manage all this?
Good question. I don't know what Concord Christian's plans are for matches. I don't know if they play 18. I don't know if they have a girls and a boys team. I don't know if they're going to play 6 singles and 3 doubles.
I'm just wondering why they're not here tonight. I don't know. Well, as soon as I'm ready for you to speak. Thank you. So why is Concord not here tonight to speak to this?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they were not aware of.
They don't participate in the Parks Committee,
No.
maybe? Or
So they do, and I believe they were actually in the field allocation process,
Yeah.
and they're the only ones using them right now.
Yeah, the Farragut School reserved the courts for the spring, March, April, May. Concord Christian, I don't think they used the courts in the spring, did they?
Well, they were not invited to the party.
What?
They,
After, not during the allocation process.
But they did go through the process for fall.
yeah, but they were not made aware. And I think that's where we're going to have to try to be, in my opinion, I just think we have to be equitable. Whether it's a public school or private school, it doesn't matter. And so I'm not for or against this right now. I just am uncomfortable when I hear the high school wants to use the courts, and I appreciate that. The high school also had courts back in the 80s, and the high school chose to put a parking lot there. So I'm trying to figure out now kind of how do we fairly allocate assets that are owned by the town for school use in a way that's fair to all schools.
And just to
Yeah.
add a little bit, so I don't know if it was lost in the vernacular, but this is for all schools in Farragut, not
Right.
Farragut schools. So it is equitable for
But Ron's
all-
talking about reserving
Right.
7 days in May for Farragut High School. So then what are we going to do for Concord Christian High School?
Well, we need to understand.
For May.
I think we need to understand the whole demand of the other schools as well. I think that needs to all be
Yes.
digested before, I'm not comfortable making a decision on that until we understand what the demands of the other schools are.
Speaking for Parks and Rec, what we said is, what are we palatable with to have our courts not available for the community in general? And the consensus was I wanted 6. We landed on 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And anything after that is all community-based. Then we backed into, well, who could use it then from 4 to 6:30? Farragut, well, you got CCS, you got ES, or St. John Newman. So you got 3 other schools. So we said we'd change the language to any school inside of Farragut. That's how we kind of got there.
Yeah.
We started with what needs to be, in our opinion, available to the residents. And we said 6:30 to close. And then we backed up to who could then go into field allocation and get it. And we preferred schools over private clubs.
I agree.
That's how we got there.
Just briefly, I think we don't have all the information before us. I guess we have Farragut and Farragut Middle School, their needs, but we don't know what the rest of the school's needs are. So, can we get that information from those schools, what their needs are? Have this go back to you all to have a realistic discussion about what are the goals of them? Are they meant there just for practice? Are we going to have matches there? If we're planning on allowing them to have matches there, clearly the 2.5 hours isn't going to work. I don't feel comfortable making that decision. That obviously needs to be, the Parks and Rec Committee really needs to wrestle with that. And, because I agree with you, these are built for the community. Certainly our high schools and our private schools are part of our community. So how do you strike that balance?
Yeah.
I'd like to point out that most of the students are from the community.
Yeah.
High school and Concord Christian, whatever. So they are residents. And 2, the schools are paying for these courts. I mean, they're not getting them free. And, that's revenue coming into us, because there are a lot of people that play tennis or pickleball that don't pay anything. They just show up. But these courts are being reserved and paid for. The middle school, they need more than 6 or 8 courts. And so I don't think there's any demand right now for the middle school to use these. There's quite a few kids playing middle school tennis, probably 60 or 80 right now.
Wow.
But they won't be using these because there's just not enough courts. Now, once the 2 additional courts are built, we have 4 right now, there's 2 in the planning stage. And once we get those other 2 courts, there's a good chance that they can probably play in 2.5 hours and play from 4 to 6:30. But right now, with only 4 courts, they can't get these matches in 2.5. Now, they played this past year, the kids were ecstatic. They just love the opportunity to be able to play here in town rather than going down to Tyson Park or to Carnes or to Oak Ridge, wherever they've had to play in the past. It was just ridiculous. These kids had to travel that far to play. This is a great opportunity for them to play right here in our town. So I was hoping that we would either drop the 6:30 p.m. time for the time being. If you look here, it says after Farragut only and no later than 6:30 p.m., either drop it or change it to 8 o'clock is what we'd like to propose. But I would like the coach to talk as well, unless you have some other questions for me.
Yeah, the 6 or 8 matches, help me understand what that is.
What now?
The 6 or 8 times you're asking to have Farragut there. Is that district games, region?
No, they're regular games. They play
But
10
why
matches.
only 6 or 8?
Those are the home games. They play 10 games, or 10 matches, 10 schools. Some are on the road, some are at home. So last year they played, actually, what did they play, 4 or 5? Okay, 3 games at home, and then they played the district game at home. So they played a total of 4. It varies from year to year, how many home games, how many away games. So all we're looking for right now is if they split the 10 games, 5 home, 5 on the road, then we're looking at 5 days that we want to play to 8:30, or 8 o'clock, I'm sorry. 6:30, change to 6:30 to 8. 5 days for the whole year.
Those days be weekend days?
No, they're school days. They're going to have to play, during the week. They play right after school, as soon as they can get there. And the other thing is, it takes them a while to get there. Just getting out of the parking lot at Farragut High School takes 20, 30 minutes sometimes. So that eats into this time too. So it does. It's crazy.
And I'll say, look, I'm not opposed necessarily to the schools. I mean, I love the schools. Don't get me wrong. I just want to make sure that we're fair. And I'm the one that got the call from Concord Christian saying, hey, this allocation's happening, and we had no idea. And we called the town, and we couldn't be a part of it because the allocation happened.
We're not allocating.
I know, but I think the point is that if we're going to communicate for Farragut High School, which is obviously very important. I'm married to a Farragut grad. She's phenomenal. So nothing wrong with Farragut High School. But we have other schools in our community that are just as important. And so I would like to see us go back and figure out, to your point, Vice Mayor, what is the demand for Concord Christian High School's matches? Do they have the 10-match program like you all do? I don't know. But we're going to have to, if we're going to make this for the schools, then we need to be proactive and invite the schools, all of them, to participate, and not just one.
And we need a good understanding of what that is
Yes.
before we vote on
Yeah,
this change.
because I know St. John Newman's got a middle school team.
Well,
So, I mean,
what's been proposed is not a number of days, but just that the
Yeah.
schools can use the courts from 4 to 6:30.
and you want to go from 6:30 to 8 is what your
Only
question
for
is.
the matches.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's going to vary. So the other time for practice, it will be from 4 to 6:30. But for matches, it needs to be 4 to 8.
We're not arguing with you.
Okay.
We're just, we need
Understand.
more, the rest of that information. How many do the other schools need? We need to understand when we're making this decision. I don't feel comfortable until we've had all of the schools give us their input. This does impact the community.
What's the proposed finish
Well,
date
from
for
my
the other
point
two
of view,
courts?
I'd like to say, please, I don't think it's any secret. Everybody here knows that my contention with all this is the lighting in the first place. I don't think any of the lighting's legal. It's not in compliance with the code. We've got all that to deal with, and I will deal with that in my way sooner or later. But I'm not comfortable voting anything that would extend play past dark. Because I don't think the lights are there legally. That's my opinion.
I'm not sure that any of the matches were played under lights. Can we have the coach come up?
Yes, please.
Well, one match, I think the lights were on, but it was over with at 7:30. Now, I can tell you Concord.
Your name.
Oh, I'm Gordon Cassidy, the Farragut coach. Concord, they do want to play, they want 2 nights. John C. Newman is middle school. They'll have their practicing at Cedar Bluff Racquet Club now, and their matches won't affect next spring. It's in the fall. The only high school teams will be Concord Christian and Farragut. CAK has their own courts. So
That narrows it down.
that,
Well,
yeah,
CAK is not
that
Farragut
narrows,
anyway.
that narrows the people, the schools that would be wanting the courts.
Well, I appreciate your input. I'd like to hear from the schools themselves, the school representatives. I think
Okay.
they should be here to speak.
Okay,
Or
I-
we figured out something. I don't know if they give you
I
an email
talked to,
to.
I was over there today, and I
Okay.
saw Jim over there on the courts, and I said, "Are you coming to the meeting?" He said, "No, we're practicing today."
Well,
And I
those courts are hard to get a hold of. It doesn't surprise me that they're out there practicing, right?
Yeah. Anything else, any questions I can answer for you?
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Okay.
I would like to clear up one thing. Concord Christian School did have the packet. They did have the information. They had some communication issues like we all do from time to time, but they are part of the field allocation process, and they just didn't really look at it in time. So they remedied this, the last field allocation, and they did put in for the things for fall. So.
Okay.
I don't know where you guys are. Maybe we could hear from you.
Well, my concern will be, when will the next two courts be finished? That's, that right there will change things drastically. So for sure, we've got one more season the way it is. So possibly the next season will be with two more courts. Is that the plan? CIP-wise, that's the plan, right?
Well, we'll be bringing you a design for that soon on what that would look like, so the board can make some decisions. And if the board wants to move forward with it, then probably by this time next year, I would imagine we'd be pretty close to having courts available.
Okay. Well, Scott's concern, Louise's concern are really something that I think we need to consider, because if the other schools want to weigh in, then we need to know what everybody's program plans are. It's kind of hard to make a decision and then come to find out there was other plans that didn't get vetted here, and I think we probably ought to look at all of it. And as far as the light situation, that's not really what we're concerned with right now. That's for another day, so.
So I think
That's
what I'm
fine.
hearing is that you want us to talk to the schools to come to the next Parks and Athletics Council meeting to talk about what their needs would be, and then bring that part back. Can we talk about the regulation?
Can I add on to
Yes,
that?
sure.
I don't think anything will change, no matter what's brought back to Parks and Rec. We started with a different mindset than what we're talking about, and that mindset was what needs to be available for the community. If the three schools, that I love all three of them, come and they want 79 matches, I don't speak for everybody on the committee, but it doesn't matter, because we started with the mindset of what do we think for this residential park should be available to the residents. We've already tagged Mayor Bob Leonard as a very different regional attraction park. The majority of that is all field allocation. When it comes to the tennis courts at McPhee, I said 6, period. We ended up on 630. And that doesn't matter for the committee. It did not matter what the demand was from schools. So we're welcome to go out and solicit feedback. I just don't think it's going to have any difference, because we're not going to, I don't think the committee would go say, okay, we'll back it up to 8 because we have a lot of schools, because the decision was made based on keeping it for the residents. If that offers any other color.
I understand.
Well, the resident use is key, and I don't know, I've not seen statistics of use.
So our rental hour, it's hard to know because there's a lot of drop-in, but our rental hours have increased dramatically. Not so much in tennis, pickleball. It's about, for taking out the school equation, it's about 6 to 1 pickleball to tennis reservations.
So that's a changeover on the court, right?
Yeah, we put all the nets out now because the demand is so high. All 8 pickleball nets are out, and they can be moved front to the middle. The pickleball players are happy to move them back and forth. The tennis players have moved them out of the way. It's worked just wonderfully. So the staff doesn't have to do it, and we really actually can't staff that very well. So that's worked really well, but it is overwhelmingly in favor of pickleball over tennis in community use.
You know, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make a motion to approve the recommended changes for McPhee Park court rental regulations, hours and fees, as they are stated here. I'm going to encourage the high school, middle school, the schools to engage with the committee to discuss extending that opportunity for when they want to have matches. Because it sounds like you guys had a long discussion about this, and you're pretty set, but possibly this is a negotiation really between the schools and the Parks and Athletic Committee, because that's where it was going to go back to, in my opinion, anyway. So that's where this discussion needs to be. In the meantime, if you're comfortable that this is what the Parks and Athletic Committee wanted, I'm comfortable making that motion.
And it may be amended.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they could come back with an amended, yes.
Okay. Somebody go,
I'll second that.
is that a motion?
I said a motion, yes.
Okay. Since we do have a motion on the floor, and I think we've discussed this pretty well, so I'll go ahead and ask for a vote. All in favor? Please say yes.
Yes.
Noes?
No.
Okay.
All right, so tomorrow we will put the basketball light schedule up, so that'll be available in reservations. We'll slowly transition for the tennis and pickleball because we already have reservations a little bit ahead, and we'll have to do some manipulation there. But I'd say by mid-September, we should be able to have that all worked out. So thank you very much.
Okay. Let the record show that the request for change has been approved 4-1. Okay, next will be approval of resolution R 2022-11, amended FY23 fee schedule.
Yes, sir, this resolution will be it's incorporating the rental fees that were just discussed and approved in the prior agenda item. And so the motion is to approve Resolution R 2022-11, revised FY 2023 fee resolution.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Resident comments on
No,
this
sir.
one? None on this one? Okay, discussion. We'll start out with Alderman White.
No discussion.
No discussion on you? Okay, thank you. Alderman White. Alderman Burnett?
No questions.
None. Okay, Alderman Meyer?
Pass.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
I have none.
And I have none as well. With discussion complete, I'll ask all in favor for the motion to be approved, say yes.
Yes.
Any noes? Okay, it has been approved. Let the record show that the resolution has been approved, 5-0. Okay, next will be approval of a 3-year master service agreement with Madden Media for digital marketing services.
Good evening, Board. My name is Karen Tyndall. I'm the tourism manager here for the town. And in your packet tonight, you have information about the 3-year master services agreement with Madden Media. They have been our digital marketing partner since February of 2021, when the Tourism Visitor Advisory Committee, after putting forth an RFQ, the subcommittee recommended using Madden Media to build our website and to assist the tourism program with our digital marketing. So there's a lot of background in there. Like I said, we started with Madden Media in February of 2021, and the website went live in August of 2021. By November 2021, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen approved a second contract with Madden Media, which expired on June 30, 2022. So currently, we don't have a contract with them. During that last contract period, just to give you a little background on how well the website was doing and our marketing was doing, new users to the site increased 35.3%. Website sessions increased 33.4%, and page views increased 32.4%. Most importantly, so that's kind of how the website was doing. There's also a chart in your package which shows you the click-through rate. So if you're familiar with digital marketing, click-through rate is somebody has served up a digital ad, and the click-through rate is how many people actually took action on that ad. So it's a very powerful metric to use to see how well is your digital advertising doing. So the average click-through rate during the period of December 2021 through July 2022 for the Visit Farragut advertising, that digital advertising that Madden Media has been doing on our behalf, that average click-through rate was 9.98%, which exceeds their set goal of 2.18%. And the travel industry, the tourism industry goal is 4.68%. So they, Madden's campaign is outperforming similar campaigns throughout the industry. In your packet, there's a chart that shows you our SEM, which is the search engine marketing. That's the ads that are served up. So search engine marketing is the ad that's served up, and then the click-through rate is how many people took action on that ad. And you can see that I put an arrow there at July when our contract ended, and you see a steep decline. So right now, we don't have any advertising out there because the contract has elapsed at this point. So basically, marketing strategy, when it comes to digital marketing, it's not surprising that over 80% of Americans use their phone or their computer or their tablet as the first step in planning anymore. It's not really word of mouth. It's not where'd you go this summer. Everyone is online, getting digital ads, looking at great locations, that kind of thing. So digital marketing is essential in the tourism sphere. So over 80% of Americans intend to travel. They start their research online. We know that through U.S. Travel, and they start simply by typing in a destination name in the Google search bar. Things, people will type in something like things to do in East Tennessee, things to do in Knoxville. We have to be honest, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of people out in New York right now going, things to do in Farragut. So since we're proximate to Knoxville and we're a part of the beautiful East Tennessee region, it's more likely that that's what somebody is putting in the search bar. And our digital ads were serving up Farragut information to them. Now, so we used to rank on the first page, usually within the first 5 to 7. Since the contract has lapsed, we're down to like the 5th page. So I don't know anybody who goes through Google and goes, oh, let me see what the 50th, important thing that Google wants to serve me up. So we know that visitors who have a positive digital experience, or the travel industry knows, when somebody has a positive digital experience about a place before they get here, they're more likely to stay longer and spend more money. So that's kind of their Madden's marketing strategy in a nutshell, kind of simplified. So Madden Media has proved to be an excellent partner for the town of Farragut in our tourism development process. What they do provide for us is website hosting and maintenance, a variety of marketing strategies. Those can change at any time. Technology changes, and so do marketing strategies. So they're constantly looking at, what's the next thing to do. So they are a full tourism organization that handle everything, not just digital marketing. So they're on top of this with, thousands of staff worldwide working on various tourism campaigns. They also do, like I said, all the digital campaigns, so that digital advertising that you see served up. And then Madden provides assistance with all the creative content you see on our website. And creative content, that's important. We were, building a website is a hard process and a fun process, and you learn a lot. And you're really proud of it, and 3 months later you need something fresh. And that's what Madden helps us provide. They help us provide that fresh content, that different, that different perspective. How can we take, the same destination but make it appealing to a variety of people in many ways? So that's what they provided for us, those 4 things: website hosting, the marketing strategies, the digital campaigns, and creative content. So attachment A in your packet tonight has the marketing proposal, and I think Allison went ahead and put it up on the screen for us. It defines the timeline, the agency services, and the deliverables for the 3-year contract, beginning from the contract approval and execution date through June 30, 2025. So this, if this is approved tonight, we won't have a lapse in our contract anymore, through June 30, 2025. So we've got plenty of planning time there. And just so you know, funding for this is included in the fiscal year 23 tourism budget. It's under 2 line items, the professional services and the printing and advertising line. So the requested amount for fiscal year 2023 would be $30,000. For fiscal year 2024, $35,000, and for fiscal year 2025, $40,000 as a total amount. So the total contract is $105,000. But for this fiscal year, like I said, the tourism budget, it's already budgeted in there under the professional services line item. Let's see, under the professional services line item, $10,000 would be coming out of that line item, and then the $20,000 would be coming out of our advertising and printing budget for 2023. And then we'll be aware of the $35,000 and $45,000 budgets in this contract when we write the budgets for the next years.
Karen, what did you say, the first 10,000 is coming out of what?
The first $10,000 would come out of our professional services because that's the hosting and maintenance, and then the $20,000 of the 30 would be printing and advertising.
Thank you.
So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about your packet.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the 3-year master services agreement with Madden Media for digital marketing services.
Second.
Okay. We have any resident comments?
No, sir.
None. Okay, discussion. We'll start out with Alderman Meyer.
So I will tell you, I'm very impressed over the last year with the digital advertising that I've seen. I think they do really good work. I'm really impressed. Not as good as some of the things I've done with my somersaults and whatnot, but with that being said,
I could ask if they're hiring.
I do a lot of free stuff, so if they want free volunteers, by all means, sign me up. My wife is thrilled with that. But I really think they do a good job, and I think the price is good. I really do. So that's all I have to say. Yep.
Okay, great. Alderman Burnett?
Yeah, Karen, y'all have a small staff and wear many, many hats, and I think an agreement like this makes a whole lot of sense. It's not really justifiable to, hire a professional marketing person, media person, lead generation person, creative content person, so this type of partnership makes a lot of sense.
Okay, thank you, Alderman Burnett. Alderman White?
Nice.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
I will add to this, I think what comes with a group like this is the search engine optimization. I don't care how good you are. If you don't understand that is an ever-evolving thing, and people that are professionals are constantly working on, okay, how are they changing their metrics because that's what Google likes to do, and all of your search engines love to do that, and it's the job of somebody who to go in there and figure out, okay, how do we need to change the language here? Because you get stale, like you said, and then your ad starts dropping.
Absolutely.
So, and I've said from the outset, this was the most important thing that we needed to do for Visit Farragut is have an effective, usable, user-friendly web page and app because, or a user-friendly on your phone because it's so important to what we're trying to achieve. So I'm all in with this one.
Okay, great. Thank you. I guess really when we started this journey with the hotel motel tax, we knew this going in that this was a very important piece of the puzzle, and it's become even more important as it's evolved, and I support it 100%. Okay, with discussion completed, I'll ask all in favor, vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let the record show that the agreement has been approved.
Thank you.
5-0. Okay, approval of bids for 5 2023 Ford vehicles from Ford of Murfreesboro. Oh, Bud is here, okay.
Good evening, Board. Bud McKelvey, Town of Farragut Public Works Director. The purpose of this agenda item is to approve the purchase of 5 2023 Ford vehicles through the Tennessee statewide contract number 209. One F-150 Super Cab 4x2 pickup, one Ranger 4x4 Super Cab pickup, one Ranger 4x2 Super Cab pickup, and 2 Escape front-wheel drive SEs. Quality and dependability vehicles keep the movement of our employees flowing smoothly and on time for commitments throughout the day. The F-150 will be replacing the Parks and Recreation Department 2005 Freestar van. The F-150 is more versatile with the capacity to haul and move numerous items. The Ranger 4x4 is a new vehicle being added to our fleet for the Engineering Department tech position. The 4x2 will replace a well-used 2007 Chevrolet Colorado in the Codes Department, and the 2 Escapes will replace the existing Escape hybrids currently utilized in our Engineering Department and as our pool vehicle, 2008 and 2010 respectively. We've experienced battery issues with our other hybrids, which can cost up to $4,000 to replace. Attached is the pricing through the state of Tennessee for the 5 vehicles, the 2023 vehicles as follows. Ford F-150 Super Cab, $32,089. Ranger 4x4 Super Cab for $28,994. The Ranger 4x2 Super Cab for $24,637. 2 Escapes for $26,268. Public Works recommends approval of the purchase of the 5 vehicles, 5 2023 Ford vehicles from the Tennessee statewide contract from Ford of Murfreesboro in the current amount of $138,250.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, rest of comments?
No, sir.
None. Okay, discussion, Alderman Meyer,
Pass.
Alderman Burnett.
You mentioned hybrids. Y'all looking at, when you put these RFPs out, at any all-electric cars?
We have not looked at anything electric until that. I've talked to David about it till it stabilizes, and that we can figure out what's going on with it. All that technology is all new, and I'd like to give it another year before we dive into it.
Do that 12 months.
Pardon me?
I'm going to hold you to that 12 months from now.
Yeah, we will look at it, and that is something we discussed because around town, those electrics would be, would work well for the distance you can drive in a day. So.
Okay. Alderman White.
With the price of vehicles today, Bud, y'all have done a good job getting some fair prices on these.
Yes, sir. This is through the state of Tennessee, so these these vehicles are already pre-bid for the entire year. And so I don't remember, I was looking at David, we checked to see what, I think we're saving about $7,000 to $8,000 per vehicle through the state bid.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Okay, Vice Mayor?
David, were all of these, just for curiosity, were all of these scheduled to be replaced in this year's budget?
These all were scheduled to be replaced in this
Okay.
year's budget.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, 2008, I think we probably should
Yes, I agree.
look at retiring that one.
2005, yeah.
We actually have a 2008 sitting up at my building that is dead and will go nowhere.
So that's
buy as is.
That's means it's past tense. We probably ought to look a year, back that up a year on the next one, okay? That's all I've got. Oh, one thing, the Super Cab V6, the F-150 of V6, and the rest of them are 4 cylinders? Okay, great. That's all I need to know. Okay, with discussion complete, I'll ask all in favor, vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any noes? Okay, Bud, they've been approved, 5-0. Okay, approval of bid for one 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe four-wheel drive LS from Wilson County Motors.
The purpose of this agenda item is to approve the purchase of one 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe four-wheel drive LS through the statewide contract number 209. Purchase of this vehicle will be used by the town administrator. Attached is pricing through the state of Tennessee for one new 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe four-wheel drive LS from Wilson County Motors in the amount of $43,788.60.
Okay.
Proposed motion is to approve the purchase of one 2023 Chevrolet Tahoe four-wheel drive LS through the Tennessee statewide contract from Wilson County Motors in the amount of $43,788.60.
Move to approve.
Second.
Resident comments?
No, sir.
None. Okay, discussion. Alderman Meyer.
Pass.
Alderman Burnett.
Yeah, that's 14 grand below MSRP, so
Yep.
nice.
Alderman White.
Pass.
Vice Mayor.
Pass.
I have nothing on that one either. With discussion completed, I'll ask for all in favor vote by saying yes.
Yes.
Any noes? No. Let the record show that the bid has been approved. Thank you again, Bud.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bud.
Okay, next will be, this is a long-winded one. Approval of request for recommendation to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for a variance of 163 feet from the distance between driveways and 96 feet from distance between driveways and intersections requirements for collector streets as provided for in the driveways and other access ways ordinance for proposed boat launch ramp access onto the south side of Turkey Creek Road at 11409 Turkey Creek Road. William Schweitzer, applicant.
Good evening, I'm Mark Shipley. I'll present this item. This is a piece of property that actually has, it's bisected by Turkey Creek Road. It has property on the lake side as well. And the applicant would like to have a narrow driveway, basically a curb cut onto Turkey Creek Road to be able to provide vehicular access to their lakefront portion of their property. Turkey Creek Road is classified as a collector street, and in accordance with our driveways and other access ways ordinance, they are required, access points are required to be 200 feet apart. This proposed access would be about 104 feet from Lindsay Lane to the east, and it's offset about 27 feet from the driveway to the home on the north side of Turkey Creek Road. So this would need a variance, which is required to go through both the Planning Commission and the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. As part of any access request like this, I asked the engineering staff to go out and check the site distance, and this location has excellent site distance in both directions. It also would be an access that would only serve one property, so obviously it'd have very limited use. The applicant also feels that, and staff would agree, that it would be safer to have a vehicular access as opposed to what they're doing now and basically carrying materials over to the lakeside, and crossing Turkey Creek Road by foot, which is a little bit more unsafe, and they could carry more supplies in one trip in a vehicle to the other side of the road. So when this was presented to the Planning Commission, basically for all of those reasons, the Planning Commission was supportive of the access and the associated variances, and they did unanimously recommend approval of this access and the variances, and the staff also recommends approval of this requested access onto Turkey Creek Road.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Do we have any resident comments on this one?
No.
None? Okay. Discussion, I'll start out with Alderman Meyer.
Pass.
Alderman Burnett.
No questions.
Alderman White.
Pass.
Vice Mayor?
I'll just state that this was, seemed to be a no-brainer for the Planning Commission. There was no controversy with this. We appreciated that this is a safety issue for them to get across the street with a cooler or whatever it is, and they're all trying to, it just seemed like this was a smart thing to do. It's one vehicular access, so.
Okay. With discussion complete, Mark, I'm going to ask you to do a roll call vote on this one, please.
Okay. You want me to do it? I can do it. Alderman White?
Yes.
Alderman Meyer?
Yes.
Alderman Burnett?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Povlin?
Yes.
Mayor Williams?
Mayor Williams, yes. Okay. Let the record show that the contract has been, oh, excuse me. The request has been approved as stated, and it would be by roll call vote, 5-0. Okay, next would be rejection of bids for contract 2023-06, Kingston Pike Pedestrian Crosswalk Improvements.
Good evening. I am Darrell Smith, Town Engineer. With TDOT completing the resurfacing of Kingston Pike through the town, we felt it's perfect time to install enhanced crosswalks at the intersections at Campbell Station, Brook Lawn, Linden Welch Way, and Concord Road. The idea is to install stamped asphalt, colored crosswalks, very much like what you see just outside the building here. We received only one bid last week, unfortunately, and that one bidder, while it's a very qualified company that has done most of the work in this area, they are not a licensed contractor in the state of Tennessee. It's a very specialized service, and they have always done their work as a subcontractor to a larger, like a paving contractor. We really are not allowed to contract with any contractor who is not licensed. So with that being said, staff is recommending rejection of the bid, and we will rebid in 2 weeks.
Move to approve.
Okay. Resident comments on this one, none at all. Discussion, Alderman Burnett?
No comments.
Alderman Meyer?
Pass.
Alderman White?
Pass.
Vice Mayor?
Pass.
I don't have any either. This is kind of obvious that we do need to reject this. With no more discussion, ask for everyone that is in favor of that to please say yes.
Yes.
He knows. Okay, thank you, Darrell.
Thanks.
Let the record show that the contract 2023-06 has been rejected as requested, 5-0. Okay, next will be approval of settlement agreement, final release of claims between Town of Farragut and First Utility District for the Andover Boulevard repairs.
Thank you, Mayor. In June of 2021, First Utility District had a large 8-inch water main break at the corner of Smith Road and Andover Boulevard. Fortunately, we had some contractors working nearby, and they were able to get to this fairly quickly and fix the problem. But when that happened, the total repairs for that job cost approximately $260,000. We've been working with Fudd's insurance carrier, Berkeley Southeast Insurance Group, for quite a while to try to settle this claim, and ultimately we have come up to a total amount of $240,000 to settle the claim. There's a discrepancy there based on the depreciation cost of the final surface course of asphalt, as well as the binder that goes underneath that would reduce those costs down a little bit. So the motion for tonight is to approve the settlement agreement and release of claims between the town and First Utility District of Knox County.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay,
No, sir.
okay, thank you. No resident comments. Discussion, we'll start out with Alderman White.
Pass.
Alderman Burnett.
No questions.
Alderman Meyer.
Pass.
Vice Mayor.
I have nothing.
Neither do I. And again, I think, Allison, if you'll do a roll call vote on this, please.
Alderman Burnett. Alderman Meyer.
Yes.
Alderman Pavlin.
Yes.
Alderman White.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Williams, yes. Let the record show that the settlement agreement and final release of claims between Town of Farragut and First Utility District for the Andover Boulevard repairs has been approved with a 5-0 vote. Okay, next, that concludes our business items, and we'll move on to Town Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. The only thing I wanted to report tonight is that we do have the final Lawn Chair Series event this weekend on Saturday, August 27th from 5 o'clock to 9, and that's at Founders Park over off Kimball Station Road, and we hope everyone can attend. That's all.
That's all you got. Okay, great. Next will be Town Attorney's report. No report from our Town Attorney. Citizens' comments. Do we have anyone?
Sure.
No citizens to comment tonight. Then, if that's the case, time is approximately 7:20 p.m. Without objection, the August 25th, 2022 Farragut Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting is now adjourned.